Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'm going to be playing What Lies Beneath. Let's get rolling. All right, so before we get going, first reminder, there's chapters down in the description, so you can jump to where you want. But I want to do a quick disclaimer on this before I start. So this video is made as marked as containing paid promotion, which is not strictly true, but I wanted to include that in there just to play it safe. But this is how this went down and how it will go down in the future on this channel. I had the designer of this game, What Lies Beneath, reach out to me and say, how would you like to do a review of this game on your YouTube channel? And I said, well, I'm not really in the reviews business, but I'd be happy to do a solo playthrough just like all my other videos, do a quick description, play through the game, give some final thoughts at the end. And they said, yeah, that would be great. So my stipulation, and again, this will always be the case here, was I want no monetary compensation for this. So I didn't take a penny, nor will I for this type of content. I said, you can send me the game and I'll use it to film and play the game, and then I can send it back when I'm done. So I've got this not for resale copy of the game, which, full disclosure, he said he didn't need it back, so I'm going to keep it. But this was all that was sent to me. There was no exchange of money. So I said, I'll play the game, do like I always do. And the other stipulation I had was, or not stipulation, but point I wanted to make was I'm not here to ruin anybody's day. So if a publisher sends me a game and I play it and I'm like, this game kind of sucks, I'm not going to make a video that says it sucks. I'm just not going to make a video at all. I'm going to send it back and say thanks, but no thanks. So if I'm playing it on this channel, it's because it's something I want to play, and I just want you to be comfortable with that. So that's the story on What Lies Beneath. So I have played it a couple times. I really like it, and I'm excited to play it now. So let's get set up. All you need for this game is the book and a pencil and a sheet of paper. The sheet of paper has your character sheet. So there's 2 character sheets here. You can play it twice. This is found in the back of the book, but it's also on the publisher's website for free to download. And it was kind of nice. It's a 2-page PDF. The first is this, and the second is this page, but in color. So this is like a low ink printout versus this one's got a lot more ink on it. And we're going to use, just on the left side here, there's a ruler. We're going to go ahead and use that. But other than that, since you can't really see if I write on that with a pencil, which worked very well, by the way, I was a little nervous to play a pencil and paper game. I hadn't really done it before, and I thought I'd be erasing the same spot over and over, and it'd be illegible, and I'd be rubbing through the paper, but it really wasn't the case. But for visibility, I'm going to use a whiteboard. So we'll put this right here. I'll explain the different pieces. This hits like your damage, how much damage you can do. Dex is dexterity. Wit is like an intelligence type of stat. Vigor is your health. Karma and ward are technically both here in the tags category, but I put them up top. Karma is bad, ward is good, and XP, those are experience points that you can spend if you survive long enough to get any sort of upgrade. So that's where I'll be doing my writing today. To play this game, you also need, you don't technically need somewhere to roll, but you need 6 die. 6 dice. So I've got 6 there. And in anticipation of losing some of them, I've got a giant bag of like 1,000 dice in here of all sorts of colors. So these will be coming out as I inevitably drop dice and don't want to go pick them up. Other than that, all you really need is a book. And I think if you buy this game, which is already available, it's not a preview copy, I think you just get the book. I think you need the pencil and dice on your own. So it's a storybook game, and you're trying to get out of this dungeon. It says a solo dungeon crawler of dice, decisions, and death. And that's been my experience. It's a solo only game. And there have been dice, there have been decisions, and inevitably I die. I expect to die again today, but I had a really good time doing it. So I won't read the rules, but they actually do a really good job of giving you the rules as you go. So I'm just going to start working through these encounters and making choices. There's there's a couple hundred encounters in the book. 241. Most of them are going to lead to death. A few allow you to survive, and some I think are like a victory, but I haven't won yet. So I will be reading this. It's going to be mild spoilers. The game tends to start the same. And I'll try and make decisions I haven't made before. So to start, there's 6 classes of characters. You roll 2 of your dice. All right, they're not doubles. So 2 or 1. So I can be either a bard or a berserker. I've been a bard, so I guess I'll be a berserker. So the starting stats for the berserker, 2 hit. And that means when I do an attack, when I attack something, I can roll 2 dice instead of, a different number of dice. I have 1 dexterity. That means when I do the dexterity challenge, I get 1 attempt. I have 1 wit, which means when I do the wit challenge, I get 1 move. And I have 16 vigor, which is a heck of a lot. So I can really take a beating. And that's how you start. This game does give you some ability. You're kind of expected to die, I think, the first few times you play. If you have XP when you die, you can roll it over into your next playthrough. I have not done that yet. I've had XP to roll over, but I've started fresh each time. But I suppose you get more powerful as you go. So I'm going to start with Encounter 1, E1. So I'm just going to read this to you. You dream you are in a chapel. Small, high-pitched voices sing an ancient song. You draw in the scent of stone and incense, yet a sense of unease washes through you. The comforting smell is a veil. The core is more macabre. Dream yields to waking confusion, a grave, dust, bones, and dried death, a flickering torch, underground, a crypt. In the near darkness, you remember nothing, not even your name. You wait, listening for anything to provide answers. Nothing. The flesh of your arm aches. You touch it, leathery. A rough, tumor-like growth covers your forearm. The weak torchlight sparkles from its surface, as if from a wound, yet it feels dry. The flesh around it throbs, as if infiltrated by a stealthy, spreading infection. You catch a wisp of a breeze, heavy with the stench of rot. You gag. Yet a breeze suggests a way out. You take the torch, determined to get out of here alive. So that's Encounter 1. That's when you then set up your character. And I think you get some sort of bonus here. That's on the next page. All right, so now we're at Encounter 2. Most of them don't have that much text. So Encounter 2. You stumble out of the crypt and immediately trip on your weak legs, sending a few skulls clattering into the darkness as you fall prone to the ground. Suddenly, a rat hisses into your face. And then it describes the process for hit tests. So your options are, you can try and hit, and the rat you need to roll at least a 2 if you're going to attack the rat. And if you succeed, you gain 1 XP, and if you fail, you lose 1 vigor, and that's entirely optional. So whether or not you succeed or fail or skip, you can then continue to the next step. So I do want to attack this rat that's in my face. For hit, I have a 2, so I can roll up to 2 die. I need to roll at least a 2 on either of the dice. So there's like a 1 in 36 chance that I'm going to get hurt by the rat. All right, a 3 and a 5. They're both higher than 2. Success, gain 1 XP. All right. And now we continue. So get up and flee. So we go to Encounter 3. And if you haven't picked up on it yet, these first few encounters are sort of teaching us the rules. So Encounter 3. You enter a tunnel of rough-hewn rock alternating with bricks. Slippery goo drips down from the walls. Your torchlight glistens from a bit of metal wedged into the rocks. Examining it, you see it's a key. So now we're going to do the dexterity challenge. So we're going to do a dexterity challenge. And this was something that I thought I really wasn't going to like. I'm not good at dexterity games. I don't enjoy dexterity games very much. For evidence, see my playthrough of Tinder Blocks. I'm terrible at it. So in the back of the book, there is some sort of alternative somewhere back here of like a little formula that you can run if you don't want to do the dexterity challenge. But this one I found pretty simple and enjoyable. And so I go ahead and I do it. So we're going to try and retrieve this key out of the goo. So we have to do a dexterity challenge at 4. So here's what that means. Set this down. I said there's a ruler here on this sheet. You take 2 dice and you stack them up by one of the tick marks. And this challenge was at 4. So we go 4 inches away. These are inches. 1, 2, 3, 4 with another dice, with another die. And I have 1 attempt to do this. My dex is 1. So what you want to do is you flick the die, and it needs to touch this stack without knocking it over. If you miss or if you knock it over, you lose the challenge. And then you can set it up again if you have more than 1 dex, but I don't. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But let's try and get this key. So I'm going to flick it. I knocked it over. Okay, so I failed the challenge. No key today. So if you succeed, you get the key. We did not succeed, so we just continue to follow the tunnel. So we go to encounter 4. So here's encounter 4. As you creep through the tunnel, you observe a metal door built into the wall beside you. The door is half your height, about as tall as a wee folk, such as the goblins who live in the mountains or the gnomes in the forests of this magical world, Teg. A massive bar crosses the door, sealed with a padlock the size of your fist, or to a wee folk the size of 2 fists. And it's kind of funny to me because this is not like a genre that I typically go for. I'm definitely more on the sci-fi side, but sci-fi side of things, but I do enjoy this. It's fun. This is what I was wondering about. If your character is a druid or a wizard, you get something here. But we are not. We are a berserker, so we don't get anything. So option 1 is if you have the key, you can try and unlock the door, but we didn't get the key, so we don't have that option. So we're just going to proceed along the tunnel to encounter 5. Encounter 5. And I do like the sort of minimalistic, it's like pen and ink, black drawings in here, but it's good. Encounter 5. The cavern divides. 2 arches extend over the openings, each etched with barely visible runes not written in the common tongue. The darkness beyond one or both openings echoes with the sound of rushing water and, unless your imagination lies to you, a soft buzz. So you have 3 options. You can try and decipher the runes with a wit test, or you could just go down the left-hand tunnel or down the right-hand tunnel. So let's do the wit test. Wit at 4. So here's how the wit test works. Because it's a 4, we're going to roll 4 dice. There we go. So we have a 5, a 5, a 1, and a 2. You need to try and arrange them in sequence, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 does not wrap around to 1. And after you've rolled them, there are 3 things you can do. You can add 1 to the total of any die. So if it's a 6, you can't add 1 to that. You can also flip over any die to its opposite side. And the third thing you can do is re-roll a die. And I have wit of 1, so I can only do 1 thing. So I don't see a way to win this. But we'll go ahead and re-roll a 5 just to say we did something. It's a 4. So 1, 2, 4, 5. That's not a complete sequence, so we fail the wit test. So we can either go down the left-hand tunnel or the right-hand tunnel. And I'm just going to say I've been down the left-hand tunnel twice. So I want to go down the right-hand tunnel to see something new. So we're going to go to encounter 22. This is where the choose your own adventure style comes into play. So here we go. Something new for me. You step into the right-hand tunnel. Arcing, it becomes a spiraling ramp down with a space to your right. As you proceed, the space widens into a vast gulf, revealing a massive chamber. The spiraling ramp hugs the wall of this chamber. You creep downward. The buzzing pauses. Torchlight moves along the floor of the chamber, astonishingly far beneath you. You hear voices echoing below. So you can do a test of wit at 3, search for a dark area of the ramp and hide for a while, or a dexterity challenge of 2, quietly continue down the ramp. Wit is not really a berserker's thing. It doesn't seem like. Neither is dexterity. Just hit. There's nothing we can hit right now. So we'll try the wit test. Wit at 3. We're going to try and search for a dark area of the ramp. Nah, we're going to do the dex test. Dex at 2. That's an easier one. We're going to try to quietly continue down the ramp. So dex at 2. Put these here. 2 inches away. 1, 2. And not too hard. Oh, not hard enough. Didn't quite touch. I only get 1 attempt, so I failed the dexterity test. So now we're going to go to E56, encounter 56. Okay, as you step along the ramp, you fail to notice a large fissure in the ramp stone. The edge of the path crumbles, showering the vast chamber far below. You slip off the edge, tumbling into a heap of stone. A bearded face swims into your confused sight, as well as the buzzing wings of a beast-man thing. They strike you, and you begin to black out. If you have fewer than 2 ward tags, lose 2 vigor. I don't have any ward tags. So yeah, I lose 2 vigor. So let's start with that. At least I've got a ton of vigor. $14 vigor. And, we're going to try and hit them back. Frantically flail at your foes. So we're going to roll 2 die, because I have hit, and try and roll at least a 4. Hey, I got a 4. That wasn't too bad. Success. Turn to encounter 60. Little picture here of like an amulet necklace. So, encounter 60. With a battle cry, you launch yourself at the foes. They look up in surprise. You meet their flurry of buzzing and blade with your own swings and kicks. The bearded one tries throwing a handful of black goo at your face, but you dodge, then tackle him and thrust your fist deep into his throat. He gurgles blood up into his beard. The winged one leaps onto your back, stinging. You punch it in the face, and it careens against the wall. It transforms into a small, gobblish being. The 2 lie still on the floor. From your foes' bodies, you retrieve a dagger. Lose 1 vigor from battle wounds. Gain item WPN. All right, so we lose 1 vigor. And we gain item WPN. So it uses these little abbreviation codes. They're all found in the back of the book. And you could only have 1 of each thing unless it says otherwise. But WPN I've had before. It is a weapon, as you might guess. During a hit test, this item allows you to raise 1 die by 1. Remember, unless otherwise indicated, you only may have 1 of each tag or item. In particular, you only may have 1 weapon. So, example, if you roll a 3, you succeed at a hit 4 test. So we've got a weapon. Also, unless otherwise indicated, nothing is one-time use. If it's one-time use, then it will be indicated. So we've got a weapon. So that'll help with our hit tests, which is great because we're already better at hit. We have a lot of vigor. That's kind of the direction we're going with this character. So we just want to hit stuff. You also find a puzzling amulet. You turn it about, noticing that it glows redly when near your tumor. You experiment with it, touching it to other things such as your fallen foes' bodies. If you have wit of at least 3, or if you succeed with the wit test at 3, you can find out, do you learn what the amulet does? Let's see. Wit test at 3. 664. If I can turn one of those 6s into a 5, then I'll be okay. I don't see another way to do it. So I'm just going to re-roll one of the 6s and hope that I get a 5. So 1 in 6 chance. Another 6. Nope. So we fail the wit test. So we don't know what this item does. So continue. Take a look at the boxes. Oh, there's boxes. So encounter 61. This picture from the cover of the book, but without the eyes. All right, so encounter 61. Runes annotate the boxes stacked near the bottom of the ramp. On the opposite side of the large chamber, a small set of stairs leads to a single arch, but before you have more than a moment to rest, voices echo far above with the sound of numerous feet shuffling down the ramp toward the chamber. So there's a wit test. You can, at 3, quickly decipher the box's runes. I don't know that that's going to happen. Or you can hide behind the boxes, prepare to fight whomever is coming, or dash up the stairs and into the arch. Ooh, yeah, what's in that arch? Or hide behind the boxes. I don't know if I'm good at hiding. I'm good at smashing. Maybe I should just fight whoever's coming. Yeah, let's try that. Let's fight whoever's coming. Go to encounter 62, which is right here. All right, encounter 62. Nearly a dozen small goblin-like redcaps shuffle down the ramp and into the chamber. You charge and begin smashing them aside. They howl with surprise. One showers herself and her companions with sparkling dust. They transform into drooling reptilian beasts with wings and claws, then rise into the air and begin snatching at you. This is no ordinary battle. You are badly outnumbered. You now face 3 hit tests. Attempt a hit at 2 test. If you fail, lose 2 vigor. So I need to roll at least a 2. And I've got this weapon which can always raise one by 1. 3 and a 4, so I pass. Now attempt a hit at 3 test. So I need to roll at least a 3. Yep, we're good there. And now attempt a hit at 4 test. And if you fail this one, you lose 4 vigor. All right, good. If you're still alive after all 3 hit tests, go to encounter 68. Some of the flying beasts claw you as they swoop. However, you manage to smash each as it dives toward you, which sends it heavily into the walls or floor. Some make a splashing sound as they impact. Others make a crunching sound. Each then reverts back to the shape of a goblin-like wee-folk, each corpse neatly wearing a red cap on its head. In their tunics, you find numerous interesting and useful items, including a skeleton key, papers, a map fragment, and a knife. Okay, so gain items CP1, TMF, and WPN. We already have WPN, so we can't gain another. Roll 1 die and add your number of ward tags, which we don't have any. If the total is at least 4, then you learn from the documents about the teeming numbers of redcaps in these warrens, gaining 1 XP. So basically, roll a die. 1. So it was not at least 4. So we don't learn anything. The map fragment indicates that the path through the arch leads toward a higher level and eventually to the outside. So we can proceed through the arch, but first let's find out more about CP1 and TMF. CP1 is Crypt Passkey number 1. This item enables you to unlock most padlocks early in the game. If an encounter offers the option item CP1, then you may use that option. Okay, so that's a key. Take a little note. You can't read it, but I can. TMF. There we go. Tunnel Map Fragment. If an encounter offers the option item TMF, then you may use this option. Proceed through the arch. Go to encounter 70. E70. The arch opens to a sinuous tunnel. A grinding sound grows in the air, with some crushing mixed in. You arrive at a wall with 3 closed doors. The first door is the source of the grinding sound. The next has a red cap hanging outside. The third is a small double door. So we have the map, so we can check for guidance. You can open, dexterity 4. Open each door slightly to peek. I like that. Or you can enter door number 1 to the grinding sound, door 2 past the hanging cap, or door 3 to the small double door. Let's use our map. Check for guidance. Go to encounter 75. You discover that the first door leads to a massive machine for grinding bones, and then to a passage. The red-capped second door goes to a room with 20 beds for sleeping guards, and the third to a closet for storing weapons. Roll 1 die. If you roll less than or equal to your wit, gain 1 XP. My wit's 1, so I'm going to have to roll a 1. Nope, no XP. So which room do we want to go to? I mean, we've got to go to the weapon storage, right? That's encounter 80. Opening the small double door reveals a closet containing a rack of swords, axes, and a shield. Gain items WPN, which we already have, and SHD. I assume SHD is a shield. Let's see what it does. SHD shield. This item reduces your harm from enemies. Specifically, each time the encounter states that a living creature, including any animal, beast, humanoid, or other sentient being, causes you to lose 3 or more vigor, then you lose 1 fewer vigor. Examples. If an encounter states that you lose 3 vigor because a horse tramples you, then you actually lose 2 vigor. If an encounter states that you fall into a furnace and lose 12 vigor, you still lose 12 vigor. Suppose an encounter states that you roll a die and lose 5 vigor from a troll if you roll too low, and then you roll a second time and lose another 5 vigor from the troll. In this case, because an encounter had 2 occasions for losing vigor from the troll, you'd lose 4 vigor and 4 vigor for 8 total. Now we can enter door number 1 to the grinding sound, or door number 2 past the hanging cap. Let's go to door number 1 with the grinding sound. So that's encounter 47. You open the door to reveal a small room almost entirely filled with a single machine. A crew of wee folk is processing corpses stacked in the corner. You gag as one worker slices bodies into pieces. A second worker stabs bits of organ, muscle, and brain on a stick, then drops them into a massive sluice where they slide along a chute. Meanwhile, a third loads the bones into the machine, which loudly grinds them into sparkling powder collected in a bag. Gain 1 XP. Okay. 2 workers notice you and exchange a comment. If you have item MDI, which I don't, you get an option. So I can't do that, so I can do a dexterity test to jump past them and dive into the sluice where they drop the kebabs of parts. Or I can do hit at 3, slay the workers. Let's see. Well, let's do the hit test. Hit at 3. So that should be pretty simple for me. So I need to roll at least a 3 or apply my weapon. Yeah, I got a 5, so no problem. So I slayed the workers. So now I can either walk out of the room or I could exit via the sluice. Let's walk out of the room. I don't want to jump down that sluice. Yuck. So let's encounter 91. Past the machine room, you wind through a short series of tunnels. They lead to a large chamber where your tunnel meets 2 others with 6 glowing tablets at the center. Moths emitting a pink light flit around through the air. If you have 2 or more karma tags, immediately do something else. I don't have any karma, so don't worry about it. Otherwise, choose from the options below. If you have item SJA, I do not. Item TMF, you can get some guidance. You can do a wit test and try to read the tablets. A dexterity test and try to climb a tablet to try and capture a moth. Or you can just go down the other tunnels. Well, let's start with TMF. Let's get some guidance. So encounter 89. The map fragment labels this chamber as the history room with Karma Guardians indicated in small text beside a moth image. The left tunnel is labeled as collapsed with a warning symbol. The right leads to a lockout door and eventual exit. Gain 1 ward tag. I don't remember if I said this, but karma is good, ward is bad. These are tags that you can have multiples of, just like these. So they should really be down here, but you can have, more than 1 ward or karma. So ward, I guess, wards off evil, and karma is your comeuppance. Even though I think karma is more traditionally negative and positive. It's only negative here. So we gained our ward tag. Now, we don't have this item SJA, so we can't do this. We could do a wit test. Oh, it's sort of the same options. Do I want to read the history tablets? Wit 4. Oh, but there's nothing bad happens if I fail, so let's just try it. So we'll do a wit test at 4. 5552. There's no way to make a sequence out of that with only one, by only doing one thing. So I fail the wit test. Let's try the dex test. Dex at 6. So we'll stack up these two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's pretty far. Let's see. You may hear my wife's playing with the baby. Don't let that distract you from your dexterity test. Oh, not quite hard enough. So I failed that one too. So I can either proceed left through the collapsed tunnel or right through the tunnel and exit. I think I'm trying to get to the exit. I want to get out of this crazy place. So let's go to encounter 44. The corridor continues to a massive door with a spring. As you push against it, you find that your arm with the tumor has grown weaker. The door opens to an enormous torchlit room, then closes and latches after you pass through. You see no obvious handle on this side. A glowing purple symbol in the shape of a jewel surrounded by a hand indicates where to press upon for re-entry. You see a few similar doors lining the massive room. Lacking a jewel hand key thing, you have no immediate means of opening any of these doors. The room has many tables and benches, perhaps used for eating or to seat audiences for speeches. A single broad corridor leads out of the room, and you hear sounds and the smell of food in the distance. Laughter echoes into the enormous space, along with goblinish voices. A group is approaching. Okay, I've been to this before. So you can, there's an option if you have item MDI, which I don't, an option if you have item PFA1, which I don't. So you could do a dex test of 2 to hide under the table, or prepare to fight whoever appears. I feel like I'm in the Berserker mode here, so I got to try and fight. So we're going to go to encounter 88, where I've not been here. Let's see. You beat aside the first foes that reach you, but their cries attract dozens more who stream toward you. Some punch, others kick, and a few throw things at you. Within minutes, you are bloodied and beaten down. Yet the blows continue. At last, you sink into sweet oblivion as 2 heavy-set redcaps grab you by the shoulders. Lose 5 vigor. Ouch. If you have item GHJ, turn somewhere. I don't have it. If you have 2 or more karma tags and you don't have any ward, go somewhere else. Nope. Otherwise, wake up. Go to E6. Oh, we're going towards the beginning. That can't be good. You wake in a small cell behind a padlocked portcullis. Bones litter the ground. Moonlight streams between 2 bars in the ceiling. Every part of your body aches. You find that your foes have searched you. Lose all items except for any that have the numeral 1 in the name. Example, CP1, which is so small that you fortunately get to keep it. And then gain tag hunt. All right, so we lose our weapon. We lose our shield and our map fragment. It would appear I've also lost a functioning eraser. And the items, while these are in the back, I don't think there's any reason to look up the tags. That'll just come up in the text if you need it. So if you have item CP1, which we do you happen to have the passkey? If so, go to encounter 41. Let's do that. Which I did not have. When I ended up in that cell before, I had no key, and it did not turn out good for me. You use your handy key on the padlock and lift the portcullis, thinking that it probably was a bad idea for the denizens of these crypts to have dropped such a valuable key, but it's hopefully the last time that you will need it as you spy a door out of the building. Flee. Go to encounter 100. You have exited what turns out to be an abandoned monastery. The morning star gleams green, low in the east and ready to welcome the imminent dawn. Gain tag MESC and 1 XP, so I'm up to 3. You've escaped the red cap lair. If you have at least 6 XP or 6 vigor, I do have 6 vigor, you may photocopy or photograph your character sheet to serve as a checkpoint. Hereafter, if you die, you may either lose everything and revert to your photocopied character and restart at encounter 101, Or, as usual, lose everything except XP, create a new character, and spend XP to boost that character and restart at E2. Okay, continue. It's not over yet. You need to cure your tumor. Go to encounter 101. You slump, exhausted to your knees, reflecting on the terrors of the night. You may spend XP at this time to upgrade your stats. Purchase any or all of the options below. Purchase each no more than once. So I've got 3 XP. So for 2, I can increase a hit by 1. For 2, I can increase dex. For 2, I can increase wit. For 2, I can gain 2 ward tags. Or for 3, I can gain 4 vigor. I still have 8 vigor, which is a lot. We just started with an obscene amount. So I think I'll spend 2. I don't think I need to do it on hit. Either dex or wit would be good, though. I feel like wit. Because with dex, I haven't done well, but I've at least got a chance. But with wit, with only one option, like, there's no way I'm going to solve a wit challenge. So let's make that a 2. Resolve fills you. Go to encounter 102. Just as you feel a moment of renewed hope, a wave of sunlight crests the mountains to the east. It reaches across a broad plain of desolate moors and illuminates your body like a flare. A million pinpricks of pain flow over your skin everywhere the light touches you, most of all on the tumor that now grows redly in the light. Pain radiates throughout your body, even where the sunlight doesn't rake your skin. It burns along your spine, and you fall gasping into the shadow of the monastery. As you cower in the darkness, the pain slowly subsides. So it says roll 1 die. Let's just start with it. Roll 1 die. That's gone. All right, my die rolled away. I've got an orange one now. So let's roll. Maybe that's why I have this basket. Roll 1 die. 5. And what was the rest of the sentence? Roll 1 die and subtract from it your number of karma tags. So 5 minus 0 is 0. You may spend any number of ward tags to reduce the result by 1 each. If the final result is positive, lose that amount of vigor. Oh, man. So lose 5 vigor. I'm going to spend the ward. Lose 4 vigor. Eek. Wait, that's not right. Roll 1 die and subtract it from your number of karma tags. So 0 minus 5 is negative 5. So I'm not losing vigor. Okay. That was a close one. Now it says, daylight has become a mortal enemy. Whatever you must do to survive and cure this tumor, it will need to happen primarily in darkness. Continue. And then you realize you're not alone. Go to encounter 103. Voices echo from inside the building, and then suddenly, from a window somewhere far above you, the main door of the building swings open, partially. A voice calls out from within the building, and the door closes again. Nonetheless, through the door you hear the fierce shouting of a small crowd. An argument, it seems. You hurriedly glance around, looking for options. Only one outbuilding of the monastery remains standing, a barn located close at hand. A forest hugs the south horizon, perhaps a mile away, a challenging distance to run through sunlight. We don't have item MDI, so we can't do that option. We can run to the barn to conceal yourself. Yeah, let's do that. Dex at 2. So stack this up. So I've got 1 chance from here. Dex at 2. Oh, I knocked it over. Failure. That's probably not good. So I can't run to the barn. So my other options are run for the distant forest before anyone exits and hope to find cover there from light. A mile run in the sunlight doesn't sound good. The other option is attack whomever exits the monastery, and I think we've got a better shot with that. So let's attack. Go to encounter 130. A small cluster of arguing redcaps emerges from the front door. You immediately shove them back into the building. One, caught off guard, falls backward farther into the hall. Another flees into the building, calling for help. A third tosses some sparkling dust onto herself and transforms into a squishy blob with many eyes and reaching tentacles, some of which also have eyes. The thing's maw chants an alien tune, and you find yourself mesmerized by the many eyes. Your arms grow weak and limply hang at your sides. Uh-oh. Break the spell and flee outside, seeking forest cover from the rising sun. I don't think that is going to happen. But if you succeed, you gain the tag Hunt, which we already have. And if your vigor is 3 or less, gain 1 vigor as you feel a surge of renewal. And you're going to run for the trees. It still sounds not very good. Or if you have tag Ward, which I do, a crowd of redcaps arrives and grabs your limp body. Or you experience a profound loss of identity. Are you alive? Do you exist? Yeah, I don't want to do that. Well, I can try the wit test. There's nothing bad happens if I fail. So wit at 5. So we got to roll all 5 of these. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And I can do 2 things to try and make a sequence. Well, I guess I'm going to re-roll this 6. And if it comes up as a 2 or a 5, that'll be okay. So the first thing I'm doing, I've got 2 actions. The first will be re-roll this 6. And it's a 2. Okay, and my second action will be to flip it over. On the back of a 2 is a 5. So my sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I actually succeeded the wit test. That surprises me. So break the spell and flee outside, seeking forest cover from the rising sun. Success, gain tag Hunt. If your vigor is 3 or less, it's not. Gain 1 vigor as you feel a surge of renewal. Go to encounter 125. You break into a run over small hills among pink-tipped bushes. The sun beats upon you, and waves of pain emanate from your arm. With each agonizing minute, your speed slows, soon to a jog, then to a walk. The forest draws near. Will you make it? You will keep a running total that starts at 0. Step 1. Lose 1 vigor or 1 ward tag. Let's lose the ward tag. Step 2. Then roll 1 die per vigor remaining, up to 6. Okay, so I've got, where's that orange one? There it is. I've got 6. Let's roll them. Now what? Add the sum of these dice to your running total. Okay, so I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, 18. Just keep that here. 18. Where are you going? Repeat the 3 steps above until your vigor reaches 0 and you die, or your running total reaches 40 and you reach the forest. Okay, so now we go back to step 1. Lose 1 vigor or 1 ward tag. So we're going to lose a vigor. Then roll 1 die per vigor remaining, up to 6. So we get to roll all 6 again, which is pretty good. All right, what do we get? 6, 11. What is this one? Another 4, so it's 15. 3 and 2 is 20. 23. 18 plus 23, 41. And our running total has reached 40. Great. So we've reached the forest. The deep shade and shimmering air of the forest fill you with relief. You collapse and enter no ordinary sleep as you dream of fairy voices singing a hymn of healing. You wake refreshed after sunset and drink from a stream. Gain 1 vigor per ward tag that you have, so none. Continue. Proceed into the forest. Go to encounter 150. Let's erase this. I will admit that I made that run once before, but I did not survive. I got there a different way, though. Encounter 150. You wind among the trees of the forest. When traveling by night, you have the freedom to choose any path through the shimmering woods. By day, you either sleep or walk only among the darkest stands of trees that you can find, as they protect you from the worst of your sun-influenced pain. If you have tag Hunt, go to Encounter 151. And we do. Encounter 151. Near sunset, the day after your departure from the monastery, you find an outcropping of mushrooms. As you examine them and try to decide whether they'd be safe to eat, the barking of dogs echoes somewhere to the north. The red caps are out to hunt you down. If you have a ward, we don't. If you have MDI, we don't. If you have PFA1, you don't. So we're doing the dexterity test. Outrun the dogs by going south. Dexterity test at 5. One, two, three, 4, 5. Okay, let's outrun these dogs. Oh, too hard. Where was I here? Failure. Go to encounter 167. I can't imagine this is going to help. You run from the barking dog, or you run from the barking as best as you can, but the sound grows louder. Night has fallen. You soon start stumbling over logs and dips in the turf. Eventually, as a team of dogs crest the hill to your rear, you trip over a rock and land with your face in a pile of leaves. The dogs pounce upon you, tearing at your clothes, items, and flesh. Lose 2 vigor. Also, lose the 2 items that are alphabetically first among your items as the dogs tear at your belongings. I've only got 1. So I just lost my crypt passkey, but I was out of the crypt, so I probably didn't need it anymore. Now you can do a hit attack at 5. How much more harm do the dogs do before you manage to finish them? Okay, so we got to do a hit test at 5. Roll 2 dice. Roll at least a 5. 4 and a 3, that's not good. So I failed the hit test. Lose 3 vigor. Oh man, I started with a lot. There's not much left. I've been squeezing that vigor for all it's worth. And I don't have a ward tag. So has your fate changed for the better? Doesn't sound like it. Go to encounter 161. In the darkness of the forest, which thickens to the point that you can no longer see the moon, you have difficulty maintaining a southward trajectory. Perhaps you stay on track, or perhaps, as it feels, you weave inefficiently through the woods. In any case, dawn eventually arrives, which improves your bearings considerably, but initiates an ache in your tumorous arm. Dawn hurts worse than dusk. Days pass in this manner, each time forcing you to search for a gully or other dark hole to hide and sleep through the day. The ache progressively worsens. If you have no karma tags, then gain 1 karma tag. Uh-oh. Otherwise, if you already have a karma tag, roll a die. If the roll is greater than or equal to your number of ward tags, lose a vigor. So whatever's going on with my arm, it's real bad. What an agonizing journey. Go to encounter 159. Your wandering extends for another few days, consuming a lot of energy, and you grow increasingly famished. It's time to eat your rations, if you have any, or find supplies here in the forest. I don't have any of these items, so I can't eat them. So I have to do a dexterity test. Climb a nut tree and search for food. Dexterity at 3. I have not proven very good at these. Let's see if I can climb the nut tree. That was pathetic. No, I guess I didn't have the energy to climb the tree. So that's a failure. No option but to go hungry. Reduce one of your attributes by 1. So either hit, dex, wit, vigor, or XP. Gain tag STV. Starving, I assume. So first let's reduce an XP. That's going to do the least harm right now. Either gain 1 karma tag or roll 1 die and lose vigor if the roll is less than your number of karma tags. Well, yeah, let's roll a die. 5. 5 is not less than my number of karma tags, so I don't lose vigor. Oh boy, we're just going to keep going back and forth. This is rough. Oh no, 160. That's not where I came from. Encounter 160. Just about sunset, you find an area of the forest that shimmers with very bright glow. The shimmer varies in synchrony with a harmonious hum, which intensifies as you climb a hill within the woods. There, you come upon an extremely tall tree. Perhaps it would be possible to learn about the southern edge of the forest from atop this tree. All right, so what are my options? I don't have any items, so I can do a dexterity test, climb the tree, and scout the terrain. Otherwise, I have to start wandering some more. So dexterity test at 3. Really need to pass this test. 1, 2, 3. Oh, goodness gracious. That's not good. So you wander some more. You go back to encounter 159. So we're wandering a few more days. We don't have anything to eat. So we're going to do a dexterity test at 3 and try and climb this nut tree again. I'm going to have to learn how to succeed at one of these dexterity tests. Let me put the things a little closer to me. Way too hard. No option but to go hungry. Reduce an attribute by 1. Oh, this is going to be a slow and painful death. Let's get rid of a wit. Let's get a little bit dumber. Go back to 160. So we're going to try and climb this tree again. We're going to have to figure out how to climb this tree. Dex at 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Oh, that was really close. That was the closest yet. So we're going to go back to 159 and try and climb the nut tree. That was also close, but a miss. So I'm going hungry yet again. I guess we're going to lose a vigor. Now we're going to go back to try and climb this tree and scout the terrain. Dexterity at 3. 1, 2, 3. Got to pass one of these at some point. Hey, I did it. Okay. Simple as that. Climb the tree and scout the terrain. You see a narrow logging road that leads southward. Go to encounter 163. Your survival skills and some luck eventually lead you to a narrow walking path with many small boot tracks that connects to a logging road. One direction leads north to the moors, while the other runs southward deep into the forest and perhaps beyond. You head south until, as the barest hint of sunlight glimmers on the eastern horizon, you come upon a giant lumberjack. To your surprise, he has only one eye. Rather far from home, are we? He asks, smirking. He steps forward, blocking the road. You can ask for directions through the forest. Try to run around him with a Dex 4 test. I don't think that's good for me. Or fight him. Yeah, forget. I'm in terrible shape. Let's just ask for directions through the forest. Go to encounter 140. Hum, 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 he intones. Well, the shortest path is to go down that trail over there. Watch for the large boulder and turn south there. That will take you directly to the Wizard's Road. He blinks, or winks, his eye and lets you pass. Oh, well, that was nice. You can pretend to follow the giant's advice, then sneak back and attack him. You can follow the giant's advice or ignore the giant's advice and continue following the logging road south. Hit at 4 if we pretend to follow the advice and then sneak back. That's not bad. Let's try it. It's kind of funny. So let's roll. These two I need at least a 4. 5. Okay. Take that, giant. Thanks for nothing. Success. Take his axe. Gain item WPN. Then take a nap until dark and then go to encounter 145. The logging road grows broader and flatter. The area all around becomes marshy and smells of rot. The trees have fewer leaves here, and moonlight streams down, reflecting off the swill of stinking muck. In the distance, you see a shadow rise from the water. You hear a splash and a growl and a wave of darkness coming at you. So for dexterity test of 5, you can sprint into the forest. Dexterity test of 4, you can try and climb a tree, or you can just fight what comes your way. If you try and sprint into the forest, there's a penalty for failure, and I'm not doing well on dexterity. But if you try and climb the tree and you fail, nothing bad happens. So we're going to try and climb the tree with a dexterity test of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Too hard. Okay. So I couldn't climb the tree. So we're just going to fight what comes your way. Encounter 136. Splashing and growling grows into a crescendo, and you suddenly see a massive alligator rear up on its hind legs. Its powerful tail swishes with a hissing sound, and its claws glisten in the starlight. You instinctively flinch, but before you can move away, it lunges at you with a snarl. Oh no, attempt a dexterity test. If you fail, you fall into the muck, temporarily reducing your hit by 1 for the next test. Okay, so first attempt a dexterity test at 3. Okay, we need this one. Oh, I barely hit it. Okay, I failed. So I'm going to reduce my hit by 1. Now, attempt a hit at 5 test. Let's roll the orange dice. I need at least a 4 because the weapon gives me +1. 1. That's not good. If you fail, the beast tears at your flesh before you manage to escape. Roll 1 die and lose that much vigor. Uh-oh, I've only got 1 vigor, so I hope I roll a 0. 2. I am dead. I got eaten by the alligator on its hind legs. That is the end of my adventure. I think I died I died once trying to run into that forest, but another time I died because I couldn't get out of the jail cell, and it was like rather than just running out of vigor like the book's like you died. And it was pretty hilarious, and that was the first time I played. It was like really well written. It was funny. So that's it. That's What Lies Beneath. As I expected, I ended up dead, but I did get further than I'd gotten before. Like I said, the first time I died in that jail cell. The second time I got out of the monastery and died on my way to the forest. I didn't make it. And this time I got past that. I got into the forest and going down the logging road and was mean to a giant who helped me and got my comeuppance. So that's been my experience with What Lies Beneath. I am certainly going to keep playing because there are multiple ways to win. I want to know what's going on with my arm. I want to know, I don't know, some sort of magic spell or something because the sunlight's hurting me, but I want to heal it. I want to get out of there. I want to find out the mystery. So I think it's fun. It's pretty quick to play. It's quicker when you're not reading out loud, if you're just doing it in your head. But yeah, it's super simple. I like that they just give you what you need as you go, and you don't need a lot of space to play it compared to some of the other games I've put on this channel. The table space on here is nothing. So this is fun. So that's What Lies Beneath. Let me know what you think. Also, if you've got anything you want to say about the quote unquote sponsored content piece of this and the way that I handle it and intend to handle it going forward, I'd love to know your thoughts. But it's really important to me that this is not a channel where I'm trying to push you into buying games. I'm not doing reviews. I'm just kind of giving my real opinions on things that I've actually played and actually want to play. And if I think something stinks, I'm just not going to play it. There won't be a video. So that's my intent, but I'd love to know what you think. Otherwise, if you're still here, feel free to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share it with somebody you know, and leave whatever comments you want to leave. I would love to hear from you. So that's Table for One for this week, and I will see you next time. Have a great week. Thank you so much.